a dime on me. She a wild little bitch, then I'ma let her ride on me. Foreign outside, my body ain't got no key. We were torn out time, bitch saying she don't never see me. I told bro, we ain't take this ride, we was never gon' eat. I'm glad I made it out the jungle, I'm a feast with the belly of the beast. Yeah, told you I'm showing who I am. Touchdown, came home jail. Still had dope on scale. These niggas thought I would fail. I went and got a rollie out of mail. Keeps on the cake like the fail. Sitting on some bags like a child. I was trying to whisper and scale. Let's see if we can send it through the mail. Walked in the spot, had a smell. Shit was all white, look pale. And I got a lead bell left. I was trying to ship it off the shelf. And they said it lean, how my health. Smoke shit, leave it in there. And we never leaving no fear. Cause we the last real love. All my young McRae, pull up at the spot and we down. We ain't never ever cared. We gon' call designer every pair. Don't tell this shit and we shot. Young colorblind blue, honey's all I see. And them boys down, got some diamonds, Molly on me. I let her ride shit down, plus I got a dime on me. She a wild little bitch, then I'ma let her ride on me. Foreign outside, my body ain't got no key.
What up? How are you? I hope you're doing swell. I am doing pretty well, all things considered. That was a pretty exciting tune by Mr. Sergio Kitchens. We are actually going to start off Copas Chez Gabriel number 2 with a pretty insane interview between Gunna, Sergio Kitchens, and Young Thug. Gunna and Thug, all right, here we are. So, and this actually brings us into our first topic of the night, which is a really interesting guy that I'm really excited to talk about, and his name is Liam MacRae. So let's go ahead and get into this. And the reason I bring this up is because Liam actually, so Liam is what is he? He's a commercial photographer, commercial director. He makes commercials and works with brands like Stüssy, Converse, and Merrell. We're going to specifically look at his work with actually a variety, but mostly a little bit of Converse, and mostly with Merrell hiking apparel. So anyway, Liam, it's funny because this guy Liam has I believe he's from California. I don't know his full story. It's actually quite cool because he's able to be in the public eye but still maintain quite a mysterious persona, which is pretty difficult to do in this day and age. So anyway, I was looking back through his Instagram, and he actually has a picture with here's the pic. Actually, all right, he's with Lil Yachty, not with Gunna. But anyway, here he is, pretty good looking guy. He's Young Thug. All right, so let's look at this interview first, and then we'll get into Liam's work. So, Interview magazine, which was started by Andy Warhol, and the first director, the first editor of Interview magazine was, what was this guy's name? Glenn O'Brien. Damn it. I should have known that on the top of my head. But anyway, Glenn O'Brien. Glenn O'Brien was the first editor of Interview magazine, and he was actually known as being one of the key reasons that men in the public eye began to discuss fashion and style. Before his time, supposedly, this is all secondhand information, supposedly before him, men didn't really sit around talking about shoes and clothes and threads and this kind of stuff. He was the one who kind of helped make it into a mainstream kind of topic, and he had a pretty famous quote that fashion and style are not the same thing. He said it was important to not be. Glenn O'Brien said it was important to not be fashionable. He felt that fashion is what makes you the same. Style is what makes you different, right? So it's important to find your own style. Anyway, we are going to discuss Interview magazine, and this is a hilarious piece. This is Gunna and Young Thug share rules to live by. Smoke after sex, keep your kitchen lit. This is by Ben Barna. photographed by Gunnar Stahl. That's actually pretty cool. So I actually passed through, I've grown up in a couple different places, but from 5 to 15, I grew up in Atlanta. And Gunnar Stahl is from Atlanta, and he was one of the first guys that got me interested in photography, which is very, very cool. I saw lots of his photos of prominent rappers, and I started taking pics. He's one of the key influences I had that got me interested in photography. All that being said, let's finally get into this funny piece about, oh my God. I read this piece once or twice, and it was, so here's some pics. All right, so 1993, the year a star was born, sings Gunna on Far, the breezy victory lap that closes out his marathon sophomore album, Wanna. The Atlanta-born rapper has earned his bragging rights. Since the release of his 2016 mixtape, Drip Season, Gunna, who was born Sergio Kitchens, love it, great name, very strong, very cool, almost as cool as, you know what? That might have to be a running thing of my show, is we're gonna start having to rank these names, man. All right, so look. All right, let's do this. So, so let's go Agostinho Zinga, London-based DJ and cultural commentator. Let's go Sergio Kitchens, Atlanta-based rapper, aka Gunna. And let's go Mexican artist, painter, Teodulo Romulo. There it is for you, baby. Agostinho Zinga, Sergio Kitchens, and Teodulo Romulo. Those are my three coolest names at this moment. Kitchens has coasted to the top of the rap game, lending his easygoing and melodic flow to hits by the likes of Travis Scott and Mariah Carey, while teaming up with his best friend and fellow Atlanta rapper, Lil Baby, to form one of the most untouchable duos in hip-hop. But it's Gunna's partnership with the freakishly prolific Rap Goliath. That's a nice little phrase. Freakishly prolific Rap Goliath. Young Thug, that's had him primed for success since the two met in 2015. They clicked immediately, and soon, Gunna was the most promising young act, signed to Young Thug's YSL Records, blah, blah, blah. To celebrate the album's release, Young Thug called up his protege to prick his brain on the best shoes, the nicest cars, and the perfect time to get high. All right, let's see. Gunna, what up? Thugger, yo, how you doing, big guy? Thug says, I'm good. I'm at the house. How are you quarantining? Gunna says, I'm sitting back. I'm cool, staying clean. So look, tell us about your album. The album is called Wanna. It's like my alter ego. I'm a Gemini, so they say Geminis are like two people, and I feel like Wanna is my second person. Like that's the second me. That's what I'm giving you with this album. The more cool, the more spontaneous, the wilder Gunna. That's crazy, sir. Oh boy. When I read this interview the first time, this phrase, these three words stood out to me. That's crazy, sir, is the funniest. Show me three words that are funnier together than that's crazy, sir. Because that transports me immediately to a courtroom or a doctor's office because of the sir. And then when you throw in the that's crazy, it's the funniest fucking that's crazy, sir. I definitely have adopted this into my lingo, thanks to Thug. What inspires your creativity? And what does this man say? What inspires me is being looked at as a what an ego. What inspires me is being looked at as a legend, working on my craft and being acknowledged for it. The feedback from my fans, the support I get from my peers and my crew, that's my inspo. They push me to keep going. That's actually pretty cool. Les francophones y les españoles, o sea, los hispanohablantes, esta palabra aquí, my inspo. Inspo es una manera de decir, I think that's pretty fucking clear. Inspo is diminutivo de inspiración, okay? Inspo. What inspires you, man? My inspo lately has been XYZ, okay? They push me to keep going. Young Thug, who makes the best beats? Or is that too crazy of a question? I can't say. Outside of our immediate family, it's way talented producers that I can't name. Very profesh. What do you think is the nicest car? I like how it's kind of childlike, the interview. I kind of love it. The nicest car right now or what we can't get yet, because I think the nicest car would be a car that we can't even purchase yet. Both. Nicest car is the Corvette Stingray. I'm talking like the newest. And what's the nicest car of all time? Yeah, we can't get facts. You still think about that car for sure. That car's on my to get list. What's your favorite piece of jewelry? Or as DJ Khaled said, jeweler. I can't even say it as wrong as him. what does he say? Jurley? He says Jurley or something. Jurley. It would have to be my Gunna piece. It's my first name piece. I went all the way with it. I never had shit, so it's something that really means a lot to me. It's your trophy. That's one of my real deal trophies. That's my favorite piece too, no cap, because it should be illegal for people like with my complexion to be saying no cap. Bleep that out. Don't post that. Because I've seen the whole mindset, no cap. Shit, you know what? I actually saw a TikTok. I don't think I saved it, damn it. I saw a TikTok, bro. Shit, I don't think I saved it.
Babe, why the fuck are you capping? You're literally capping to me. I thought you were telling the truth, but you're fucking capping. You're literally capping.
Alright, what else? Is the rest of this funny? Who do you think is hot right now? I got the game right now. Me, of course. See, I don't think that's actually cool. I get that it's part of his persona to be like, I'm the best and whatever. But I think it'd be cooler if he was like, you know what? I think XYZ is doing really interesting work and blah, blah, blah. But he's got to play this kind of masculine persona, which is lame. Oh, man. What do you like to eat and drink when you're in the studio? I like mild wings, fries. I like to go to Roots. Chris, it depends. I might have to somebody go get it for me. I like to eat that in the studio. What do you like to drink in the studio? Strawberry lemonade, anywhere I go. I'm going to go see if they have strawberry lemonade, and if they don't, I'm going to go see if they can make it. Favorite drink alert. Favorite drink alert. Who makes the best food in Atlanta? Everybody can cook in Atlanta, son. No kizzy. So listen, who was your high school crush? Tell us her Instagram if you know it. Light-skinned Brittany. I don't even know her IG, but she was fine, boy. And I could real deal have had her too. She was older. When I got to 9th grade, she was already in the 12th. You know how them fine ones is. She knows who I'm talking about. That's actually hilarious. I only went to 1 year of high school in Atlanta. I did freshman year, whatever. I did 9th grade in Atlanta. And I remember there was this really, really cute chick, white chick, a little bit sort of an olive complexion, good looking, Mary, and she was older. She was 11th or 12th grade, and I came in very strong. I was cocky. And I was ready to get after it. And I thought she was cute. So I was texting her. I'm this little 14-year-old. I'm texting her and I'm like, we should hang out. Like, I said something like just super like direct, like you look good, or we should like, are you free tomorrow? I think I said that. I said, are you free this weekend? And she didn't reply. And one of her male friends texted me and was like, I don't know if you have balls the size of basketballs, but you need to chill. And he was actually kind of cool in the end. His name was Ryan. I just saw on Facebook actually that he just moved to Stockholm or some shit. But he texted me and he's like, look, he actually kind of consulted me. He was like, look, here's what you're gonna want to do. Next year, over sophomore year, over the summer, I want you to kind of establish yourself at the parties, right? At the house parties, kind of begin to, create a name for yourself. Take it easy, you know what I'm saying? Instead of coming in with the text, which is kind of funny. But anyway, I ended up moving out of Atlanta, so who knows? But she was cute, and she's in California these days. Anyway, I moved on to brighter pastures. So anyway, let's see. I wish you knew her Instagram. I knew you ain't really into sports like that, but you think about it. Football, I probably say Odell Beckham Jr. I don't really care about sports. I don't care about other shit. All right, let's keep moving on. No kizzy. All right, let's see. When is your first time to smoke weed? Probably right after sex. You just lay back and smoke one after you've been having sex like a workout. One of my colleagues over here agrees. One of my colleagues. No kizzy. I pulled up to the house this morning when I left Duke's spot. I pulled up to the spot. There's a blunt of weed on the ground in front of the door. He had a blunt at the door before you come in the house. That's Duke. Don't play with him. What's your craziest rule? Oh, man. What if I just started dropping in don't play with him for my colleagues and peers? Like I'm talking about Chris Kontos of Kennedy Magazine. All right, let's move on to this Kennedy piece. Chris Kontos, don't play with him. He was out in London. That's ridiculous. Okay. What's your craziest rule? Like, what's one of my pet peeves? Like, Duke's rule is that he's got to have 5 or 6 people at his house every day. God, that sounds like a nightmare. And if it ain't got 5 or 6 people in his house, he's going to pull his fucking hair out. He's got to have 5 or 6 every day. My biggest rule is somebody's got to wake up with me. One of my homies got to wake up with me every day. If Rika, Thug's girlfriend, ain't with me, somebody got to wake up with me every day. As soon as I come out of my room, I got to see somebody's face. I can't wake up in no house alone. You ain't never alone. I think it's because I grew up with my mom who had so many kids. I just grew up around people, so I just have to love people around me. I got a bigger house, just have to have people. What's your craziest rule? I think at the house, before I go down, I got to clean the kitchen area. When I come downstairs in the morning, the counter has got to be lit. It's got to be soothing. Man, this countertop pretty soothing. When I come downstairs, if it ain't, my day won't be all the way together. If I'm out of town, I got to vibe out. When we were in Australia, we vibed out. New Year's, bro, we made the best of it. So that's pretty much it. My one rule, I hate when a girl's toes ain't done. Oh my God, I hate that. All right, here's what I think about that. What does he say? Oh, this is something else. All right, if you're going to say something like, I hate when a girl's toes ain't done, I think Gunna, in that case, has to have immaculate hygiene. I think his own nails and hair and stash and skin and eyebrows and all of it has to be really well maintained. You can't say that unless you also are keeping up your side of the bargain of the deal. That's what I think about that. So I don't know if he has good hygiene. I know he's got some, he wears some ridiculous clothes, but he needs to also have really good hygiene to be making demands like that. I get that he's rich and he's famous, whatever. He's got to do his side of the deal. All right, I think that's it. I will say having 6 people in the house at all times sounds like a nightmare. And I like to entertain, don't get me wrong, but that sounds terrible. Okay, point is, at long last, we are finally going to get to this piece, which is about Liam MacRae. So Liam MacRae works out in California. Let's pull up some of his work. So I think the first thing I want to say about Liam is that he works heavily with Stüssy. Sean Stüssy started a surf and skate culture inspired streetwear brand. He's known, I actually saw a piece recently, he's known as being kind of one of the key godfathers of streetwear with the guy who, what's this guy's name? Nigo and Jebbia. Those Supreme and Bape, right? Supreme, Bape, Stüssy. Supposedly, those are the 3. I'm a little bit young. I don't know the exact origins of all this stuff, but that sounds like that's how someone painted it. This is the 3. That's kind of the 3-headed snake, to quote Gunna. So anyway, Liam MacRae. So this was one of my first introductions to him. This is his photography series, a campaign he did with Stüssy. So it says, photographed by Liam MacRae. Familiar patterns are found on the coast, the concrete, the garden, and with friends. So this is from Fall 21 collection, so about 6 months ago. So this was my second favorite. This is Evan on the Road Again by Liam MacRae. This is pretty cool. How can I say this without sounding like a dick? Man, I wouldn't even say if I didn't have good taste. My kind of pretentious, cocky take was like, if I didn't have cooler taste in art, I would buy this from my place. This is cool. Don't get me wrong. I think inherently this reminds me of a little bit like, I don't think if you're buying art for your spot and it has names of brands embedded in the picture, I think we can do better. Is kind of my point. Like, cooler than this, just buy some picture from your local artist. You know what I'm saying? But if you are gonna get some branded stuff, this is on the upper echelon of cool. In terms of you have the cool motif here, and the car is cool, and the surfboard's coming out, and the smoke coming out of the pipe. It is cool. It's verdant, and it looks pretty. Let's see. This is my favorite. This is my favorite by far. This is cool. Testing the waters at Casino Point by Liam MacRae. See, this is cool. If I was boys with the people who started Stüssy, or I was out there embedded with the whole kind of Brocky, Liam, Hank, A-side kind of whole team, I might be compelled to frame this and put it up in my spot, but I'm not, so I wouldn't. But Testing the Waters at Casino Point by Liam MacRae. This is cool. This is very cool. So anyway, that was my first introduction to him. Then we move on. So I did a bit of research, and we're eventually going to get to my ultimate point, which is that his new campaign with let's just go there. We're in a vault day. His new campaign with Merrell is nuts. Is nuts. It's very, very compelling. Let's see if we can pull up. Let's see if we can. Yeah. We can get some of this here. Let's see. You know what? Actually, I want to start with something else. All right, you know what? No, we gotta take this in order. This is one of the other pieces I saw where he meets with Toro y Moi, which is he from California? He's some music producer. I don't really keep up with his music. I'm not saying it's bad. I just don't keep up with it. He's got some decent stuff, right? If you're a fan. Toro y Moi. Okay. So he had this very cool little short dog he did. This is 7 years old. And this is with A New Breed. This is a documentary series presented by the Creator Class and Canon. So this is pretty well framed here. You've got Toro y Moi and this really nice beam of light, and then you've got this cool fern. Look at that fern. That's sweet. It's glistening, it's glowing in the sun. It's, you know, kind of a little bit of overexposure. It's really fried by the sunlight. That's really cool. And then you have the cool framing of the dog's ears. Really cool shapes and light here. And you see, you know, these shadows here on the right, this tree trunk, and then you have another patch of golden light. This is a really cool shot. So you just you have a bit of a picture of his eye, which is very, very sophisticated. So let's move on here. So I think Toro y Moi makes actually a pretty interesting point about skate culture.
I think I saw a couple of kids skating in my neighborhood, and then I went to like the Big Lots and bought like this $20 skateboard, and it would not roll when you pushed it. That was my first experience skateboarding. Like, the thing about skateboarding is that it's really down to earth. The dudes that skate are like, they're like normal people, you know, they're not like in it to go pro or anything. It's just like you just do it because you're bored in your neighborhood and it's the weekend or something. With skateboarding, like there's no other sport out there that encourages, you know, videography, music, fashion, and like design. And like that's like the perfect sport for me. So I was all in.
So yeah, I found that pretty interesting. I know maybe you put two and two together, but I never really did, in terms of why skateboarding to this day still has this allure and it's got this cool factor, which is kind of hard to find elsewhere. You know, biking doesn't really have it. You know, even football or basketball, it's got this very niche kind of cultural significance, and I never really put that together, that because it's got this dress element. I think you see a bit of that in tennis more so than like American football or global football, soccer, or even more so than basketball. Golf, you can get a bit of flair with your personal dress, but tennis has a bit of that sort of, you know, the thighs out and the cool polos and stuff. Tennis has an elegance to it, which is intriguing. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. That kind of explicitly laid that out for me, that with skateboarding, that's why it's got this, part of the reason it's got this cool factor, because of the clothing. It's got this video marketing style embedded into the culture, which is pretty cool. I desperately, like you maybe, desperately wanted to be a skater. I would bike. I think I might have skated to middle school, which was very close. It was less than a mile away, less than like a kilometer and a half from my house in Atlanta. And I skated, and I was very shitty. And I think I tried to learn how to ollie for like 6 months, and I could never get it. And I was distraught. So I picked up biking. Biking was what you did if you weren't cool enough to skate. So all the guys, you know, we were getting into fixed gear bikes and all this, you know, dorky shit. Biking is cool. Biking is still cool, and it's got its own kind of culture to it. But I always wanted to be a skater, and I never could. So that's why I have depression today. But anyway, so that was one of the first campaigns I saw with by Liam, and let's keep it cooking. So this was another piece. What's interesting about this, I guess I'll link the guy he works with. He's got this distinguished taste in music that he uses in his campaigns, which is actually pretty interesting. So I would love to follow in this guy's footsteps. I've done some video campaigns for different brands. I've made one recently with El País, with the art director of El País in Madrid. So anyway, I do want to follow in this guy's footsteps, and I'm curious if he gets to basically, like, how does that work? Let's say, who's a brand that I want to work with? Maybe like a brand like Fuel Sec. Fuel Sec, c'est une marque française. Et je me demande si je travaille avec Fuel Sec dans une marketing campagne. Oui, campagne. Dans une campagne publicitaire, si je travaille avec Fuel Sec, je me demande si c'est moi qui ai la décision de choisir la musique de la campagne publicitaire. Ou si on doit travailler ensemble avec le chef, avec le staff. Mais avec Liam, it's interesting because he uses relatively strange music, I would say. It's not, I don't typically hear this kind of stuff in marketing campaigns, and I fuck with it. I think it's cool. So let's check out this one piece, which I think is very indicative of his style. Pretty cool if you ask me. I like that. I think it's weird and it's cool. I don't think you see a lot of campaigns like that because I think most marketing teams would be scared to put something out that's kind of as I don't know about avant-garde, but it's a bit funky. It's weird. This is a cool shot. Nice silhouettes here with the traffic. Traffic right along the beach. You gotta love the car culture of the States. Not to sound like a European prick, but I can't stand it. I love the bike centric, the pedestrian focused culture of the prioritization of the pedestrians, walking culture in Europe. It's part of the reason I would love to stay here if I can. That's pretty cool. The kind of, how would you describe this? Neon, kind of wet neon green, black skin, wet neon. Does that sound poetic? The sort of slick. You know, a jewelry-clad black hand, wet slick with green neon. Maybe I'm kind of trying really hard to make this sound cool, but you see what I'm saying. This is a cool visual. It's actually a very cool visual. It's actually very cool. I like that a lot. And you got the Converse tapping on the ground. Anyway, lots of build-up. We are finally going to get to what I'm most intrigued by, which is his campaign with Merrell. So Merrell, if you are not familiar, is a purveyor of hiking apparel, hiking goods, hiking shoes. I actually bought a pair of, I have them here. I have a pair of Merrell hiking shoes. And it's actually pretty funny because I went on a road trip with some dear friends. Aw, cute. I went on a road trip with some dear friends to out west in the United States. We passed through South Dakota, Colorado, those kind of states. And the only pair of boots I had at the time was the pair of leprechaun green and burnt oak yellow Aimé Leon Timberland boots. And I legitimately considered wearing these boots to hike 4 miles a day. Can you imagine? Can you actually imagine if I had done that? My feet would have disintegrated. So luckily I splurged and I don't know, I don't even if I even splurged. This, you know, there are certain costs that you have to undertake to go on a sort of road trip. So I bought some hiking boots and I got some Merrell shoes. It was just generic brown Merrell shoes. And I'm pretty pumped up because it's quite exciting to see that this brand is investing heavily, or I don't know about investing heavily. They have people in place who are making good decisions and they're hiring really creative talent. And again, it's not just Liam. I'm sorry, there's other people involved, and I'll tag them. You know what I'll do? I'm not going to give them verbal credit because I don't have time, but I will tag some of the people who are working on these campaigns in the description. That's what I'll do. So at least you can go check out their work. Anyway, Liam and his team have been doing some really, really eye-catching stuff. And me as a creative lad who likes these kind of campaigns, it means that Merrell has my attention. Merrell has my attention more than it did before. It's almost like marketing influences our perception of products. It's crazy. I'm pseudo-intellectualizing this entire concept, but no, I mean, but I think that is the case. I think it is interesting how, you know, sometimes I kind of become a bit cynical, and I'm like, you know, I work in video marketing, or I want to get back into video marketing for different brands and businesses. And I get kind of cynical, like, man, you know, it's so trivial. You know, who cares? You know, what's the last marketing campaign I saw that really stuck with me? Which is kind of the case most of the time. But I think, you know, every now and then you do see campaigns which is like, damn, you know, that was a strong creative vision. That was a strong creative vision, and I like where that person's coming from, and I'm curious about how they see the world, and these kind of more profound topics than just buy these shoes or buy this sunglass. You know, I like how you're portraying the world. It's intriguing me. So this was a very, very, very cool campaign, and we're gonna keep looking at more of his work. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Let me just make sure I show you all the other. It's a shame that they make it so difficult. I wish this guy had a proper website set up so I could quickly look through his work, but I'm sort of having to piece all these things together. I'll show you a couple other campaigns on from his Instagram. Good sound design on that clip. This is the money shot right here. This is the one I saw that inspired me to comment on this guy's work. How sweet is that? Short and sweet. It's a shame it's not longer. They've kind of chopped up all of his work to put into these little Instagrammable pieces, but that's tough. That's tough. I like that. Tough. I should probably elaborate. Tough is a good word to know. Tough is when you find something. It's actually interesting to think about how to explain tough to a non-native English speaker. Tough. That's tough. Tough is positive. Tough is a positive. It's slang. It's informal. Tough is a word you can use to positively describe your impression of something. This campaign, I think it's tough because it's a little bit dark. It's a little bit mysterious. It's a bit tough. That's tough. Tough is cool. Tough is cool. It's well made. It's cool. It's not trying to fit in. It's kind of doing its own thing. That's tough. That's tough. It's got a sort of aesthetic value as well. You've got how sweet is that? How about this shot? Me and my mates out in the countryside, out in the national. How good are these colors? Out in the countryside, going on midnight little marauder missions. That's pretty sweet, isn't it? I like that a lot. This one was also very impressive. Short and sweet, but very, very cool. How sweet is that? Very, very, very cool. You've got the sort of extraterrestrial beats and the whole kind of ambiance. Thing is that this kind of music and this kind of portrayal must be alienating for a part of the population who isn't with it, you know. But for me, it's cool. They're kind of it's provocative. I'm not used to it. I'm really not used to it. It's cool. It's got sort of a space, what's it called? Space 2000 Space Odyssey kind of vibe. This is a great shot. Here. This rope swinging in the air, and you got this great, negative space with the silhouette and the wet pavement. Very sexy, very, very dark and cool. Very cool. That's how I would describe his work. It's cool. So I've been very impressed. I've been very, very impressed, and I wish this guy lots of luck. And it's interesting because now that I've got these Merrell shoes, I'm more eager to wear them around and kind of get off some kind of retro fits this summer. And if anyone kind of comes for me and they're kind of wondering what's up with the Merrell, or I can kind of push this this narrative that, you know, you haven't seen the new campaigns. Merrell has their kind of finger on the pulse, and they've been putting out some cool work. So Merrell is putting out some of the best work in this space right now. And it's very, very cool, and it's worth checking out.